guys. It's Meredith Vesh, Clarity Coach and creator of Pause Box. This week I wanted to come in and talk about two skills that help me up my game. And I'd say that they really didn't appear in my life until like the last couple years. So it might be an over 50 thing. Maybe I'm a slow learner, or maybe it's right on time. But these two skills are actually mentioned this week in my posts. One is today's post around power is the ability not to have to please. And that was a quote from Elizabeth Janeway, who was an early feminist and novelist. And the other post was around forgiveness and how that's part of my morning routine. And I feel like they're so related because the minute you decide that you're not about pleasing everyone, there feels like a huge need to do a lot of forgiveness. So they're kind of like two sides of the same coin. So I'll start with the forgiveness first, because as someone who has this background of doing, going, crazy inner critic who is total taskmaster, who constantly evaluating if, I'm good enough. The forgiveness piece that I brought into my morning practice has been so, to say it's powerful is kind of an understatement. It's like washing the slate clean every morning. All the low negative energy of the past day, all the rerouting of all the ways that I could have done better. Could have been, more of this, less of that, more patient, more articulate, whatever it is. Every day now I have a forgiveness practice, and it's really forgiveness for myself. I mean, it's really rare that I'm forgiving others, but occasionally it comes up. Mostly this is about self-forgiveness. And the benefit of forgiving yourself every day is you get this gorgeous amount of fresh new start energy to bring into your day's activities. So I highly recommend that in your journaling each morning, if that's how you roll, put in a question about what can I forgive myself for today, and make sure you really examine all the ways, because they're very subtle. Like sometimes, I may just be worrying, so I'm going to forgive myself for worrying. Sometimes I may be just not feeling it, not feeling confident, or not feeling inspired, or maybe, what else is in the forgiveness category? I do a lot around, maybe being confused or not being clear. So there's just a whole slew of, and obviously really, being a mom of two teenagers, there's so much to forgive yourself for, because you're always stepping in it in some way, my daughters are incredibly kind, and they don't, do the eye rolls very frequently, but there are always ways I could have been a better listener, less bossy, more tuned in. So there's always that side of the forgiveness factor. But let's now flip it, and let's go into this power is the ability not to have to please. And as high achieving women, a lot of us got here because we are able to read the room so well and know what people need and deliver it. And I was always raised to think that was my superpower, and that was why I kept getting promoted, and that's why I was well received, and my projects were successful. And yes, it's true. Pleasing absolutely has, it's a very good strategy for many of us for that reason. But where it falls down is when you are pleasing at the expense of yourself, right? So when you are not putting your true self out there, if you are editing or holding back or playing small or being supportive or not wanting to threaten because You want to please, you want to keep the peace, you want to, not upset the power system. That's when pleasing becomes so draining, and you don't really even know that you're doing it. I mean, you know that it matters that people like what you're doing, but you don't see the costs to your own energy. And so this freedom, and I really feel as women, as we age, we get this freedom of not having to please, right? Our looks, we get to please ourselves. We're not out there pleasing, the general population. We get to choose our vocations. We get to, invest in the things that we care about. And it's no longer a laundry list of the things we should. So the opposite of power and being in your own power is playing by everybody else's rules. And that is absolutely something that can be incredibly draining. So those are my two insights for this week. Stop the pleasing and start the forgiving. And if you can make some headway in either of those, you are going to be set. You're going to have so much more energy. You're going to be so much brighter and creative, and your voice will have so much more power as you really settle into what is true for you. So I invite you, if you like this kind of conversation, I would love to have you on my mailing list. So I'm going to drop a link below, or you can look in my bio on Linktree, and would love to have you on my list. And also for the month of May, I am taking on one new client. So if you feel like you're in that place in life where you're ready to bump up the creativity factor, the contribution factor, the impact, authenticity factor, I am happy to support you in that journey. And I'm very good at it. So get in touch. So thank you so much. I will talk to you guys soon, and have a good one.